Well, hello, friends. I'm so excited because I have my real life friend here, Becky Kopitzke, and we are going to be talking about all the things about writing, about health, about families, about following our dreams. But first of all, welcome, Becky. And why don't we start by you telling us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, hi, Tricia. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. So, about me, I am an author turned business coach for authors. And you and I know each other from a mastermind group we've been in for several years now. And I love your creativity and all the ideas that you have. You are one of the few people I know who out idea me, which is really exciting. You can outpace me
I
in the
didn't know we
idea
were
generation.
racing, Becky. But
It's always a race, Trisha. But I'm here just busy every day. I'm raising two teenage daughters, so my daughters now are 17 and 14. Originally, the books that I wrote were about parenting, Christian parenting, and
Mhm.
I've grown since then, developing some knowledge in digital marketing. So I write for an audience surrounding that now. But I am just working like everybody else to figure out how to incorporate my faith into my creative passions and to do it in a way that serves people well and is done using best practices and also for the purpose of supporting my family and integrating my family into the work that I do and the business into my family. So that's kind of what my sweet spot is. Mompreneurs basically, and
Mhm.
a lot of
Mhm.
now grandmapreneurs, right? We're getting into
Yeah,
this generation now. A lot of my friends or kids are leaving home and we're
I'm a
becoming
grandma.
grandmas. Yeah, grandma's the coolest, right? And there's this new stage of life that a lot of women enter at that point saying, well, what do I do now? What do I do that my kids aren't necessarily home all day, or I want to have some flexibility in my life to care for my grandkids, but I still have this dream in my heart or this creativity that I want to put out into the world. So what do I do with that? So a lot of my clients are women in their 40s, 50s, 60s who are just now starting with a fresh look at what they were created to do. So that's kind of the stage of life I'm at, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Though I'm not loving the fact that my oldest daughter is heading to college this school year, though. So that's the one thing that maybe you can talk me off the ledge on. But I'm also in that stage.
I'm telling you, the first one is hard. The first one, because it's such a big transition.
Yeah.
Then as you go on, then they're like, "Oh, I should call that child and see how they're doing." But the first one is, it's like you're used to always being around them, and
Yeah.
then you're like, "Are they gonna be okay? And what if
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, what if they have questions, or what if they get in a bind, or do they know how to do this or that?" They'll
Yeah.
be fine. Like,
All
yeah,
fine. And this
it's
is why
good.
we raise them, right? We raise them so that they
Mhm.
can become the people God designed them to be. And it's exciting and it's wonderful. And I try to keep myself busy so that I don't cry into my soup when this comes.
There you go. And the fun thing is that the new level of friendship that you're gonna have,
Yeah.
like, after they leave and come back, and then they really appreciate you, and you have these great conversations, it's an awesome place, I will say. It's an awesome place to be, so you can look
I
forward to that.
I do.
Like,
I
the coming
do.
homes. Yeah.
I do. I do. I do look forward to that. I look forward to being a greater degree of a friend than necessarily the
Mhm.
mom. Always be mom, right? But I do look forward to continuing to grow my friendship with my daughters because my daughters are pretty awesome. I have to say, one of them is
I
sitting
love
across
that.
from me right now in my office, and she's
So,
waving like,
like,
"Mhm,
she's
I'm
especially
totally
awesome.
especially because she's the one who's in the room hearing mom talk right now."
Yes. And what I love is to see them, like, blossom into who God designed them to be. Like,
Yes,
and I know this seems like we're going off what we're gonna talk about today, but I think with us, we have found, like, the people that help us to blossom, to grow, that, like, we can get creative with or have fun with or encourage. And I think in the mastermind, I mean, I love all the awesome people, but you and I are like, "Idea, idea,
yeah.
idea," all the time. And I'm like, "Oh, Becky, you're my person." Like, we and our messages back and forth, like, someone puts an idea, like, "Oh," and there's, like, exclamation points and this and that, and then we have, like, 20 ideas.
Yeah.
And so and it's fun to have people that are at whatever, and maybe you're like, "I just like to chill with people," which is wherever you're at, it's so fun to find those people that you can feel like that you can connect with and it can understand you, and so you're
Yeah.
kind of on the same creative vein, and we have similar messaging about, like,
Mhm.
you are unique and your voice and your story is important, but
Yeah.
also we need to make money here.
Yes,
Like,
we do. Yes, we
I
do.
have to figure out, like, I wanna do this stuff with my kids, but I gotta pay for it. I just went on a trip last week to Washington,
Oh,
or
cool.
Oregon and Washington, and to be on a podcast. I took 2 of my daughters with me. So it's a business trip, but it's also family trip because we
Yeah,
had fun. We went to, there's a TV show that's filmed there that my daughter likes, so we went to some of the spots that was filmed. It's like
fun.
we mix these things, but we do have to make money. I mean, which we'll be talking about.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the fun thing is because Becky and I are like messaging and like, what about this? And how about this? Like, we just had a book launch release. I guess we haven't really launched it yet. We just had a we
We're
just wrote a
launching
book,
it now.
Becky. Becky, we wrote a book
We did.
and it's on Amazon
On
and it's
Amazon.
like
Oh, that's right, we did that. Wait, didn't we do
we
that in,
did
like,
that.
2 weeks?
Yeah, we like wrote a book and it like has a beautiful cover and it has an awesome back cover and like it's up
Yeah,
there. And sometimes I think we're like, oh, we just had a new book release.
we did. We
So
technically had a
we
new
were
book
talking about
release.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
excited. I'm very
congratulations,
excited.
Becky.
Yeah, thank you, Tricia. Congratulations to you too. But, what is it to you? It's just another notch in your belt. What are you at, like 6,000 books now?
I have no idea, 100 and something, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have
so
slightly fewer.
tell us, Becky, about
Mhm.
your new book that you wrote with an amazing co-author,
Oh,
and, like, what the message first the title and then the message and the heart behind this book.
yeah. So the book is called Tell Your Story, and it is all about helping authors and product sellers and anybody who has something to share, helping them create promotional content for social media in particular that is centered around authentically who they are and why they're
Mhm,
sharing this product or this service or this story. It's called Tell Your Story because you and I, Trisha, we're seeing a lot of people trying to figure out how to sell something online and feeling like they had to have a certain terminology or a certain formula they had to follow, and you stepped into that space. You did, especially with Optavia, with the authors that you work with, and you basically said no, you just tell them who you are and why you're passionate about this, and things started happening for these folks.
right.
And my heart is in digital marketing, and so we came together and said, what if we just create something that we've been calling our Mad Libs, but really we have an
Mhm.
overarching title now for it, which is Word Lib Creative. And there are all sorts of opportunities
Yay.
here for people who have a product or a service or a book to sell to do so in a way that is so much easier than you think it's going to be, because it's about telling your story. But if you don't know how to tell your story, we've got your back. We have created this workbook that essentially is fill in the blank. So we
Mhm.
give you the framework for how to discern what your story is, help you figure out how to share it in bite-sized pieces on social media, and to do so on a regular basis that builds consistency and builds trust and helps people see authentically who you are and why you're passionate about your business, and it generates results. I am so excited about this because Trisha, you've seen, maybe you can share with us how you've seen, even just in the testing ground we've done, how you've seen it actually come into play for people where they're generating activity and results in their business by simply being who they are on social media.
Absolutely. So, you mentioned Optavia. I lost 90 pounds over Optavia, which is, awesome, nutritious food. You have a free coach. Like, it's this program to getting healthy, not just a diet, but a program for getting healthy. And in this circle now, because I love helping people because I mean, my life is completely changed. I have energy. I'm able to get more done, not get so exhausted. I feel better. All these things. And so basically, I'm telling you my story right now, which is exactly what we have to do on social media. But people who are not used to social media just we have a sale today. You can save $130. Contact me if you want more information. And they're like, what? Like,
Yeah,
what are you talking about? What are you selling? I don't want to buy anything. And so really, instead of doing that, it's kind of what I just did is like I was overweight, feeling horrible. I went on vacation. All I wanted to do is take a nap. And then I got a coach who's helping me with the right nutritious products to lose weight. And I feel amazing. And I love helping people. There's nothing about buy this, do this. And then people's like, what are you doing? I want to know. And so
yeah,
when I started sharing my story, sharing how much better I felt, sharing because I went through menopause and I feel better now than I did before. And that's usually not what happens when people go through menopause.
mm-mm,
When I
mm-mm.
start sharing these mini stories. Like, you don't have to share. This is not a novel. We do
Yes.
the novels. We do all those big
This is
books.
not
This is
TMI, right?
Yes, these are a couple paragraphs,
Yeah,
but you just share a little bit, and you're just sharing your story about how you're feeling better, than people contact you, or you're sharing about your new book. I just share, like, I'm interviewing this person for my book. You're sharing
yeah,
little pieces of your story that get other people interested. And for those who may not need that product, they just love hearing the stories.
yeah,
For those who need that product or what you have, they're going to ask questions.
yeah,
So, I'm talking about, I'm losing weight, I'm feeling great. I don't have to say, do this, this, and this. They say, what are you doing? And I'm
yeah,
able to have a conversation with them. And some people, it's a perfect fit. Some people, it's not a perfect fit. And
mhm,
that's okay. It's really just sharing our story
yeah,
and letting them know how we have been helped. And maybe here's a resource that could help you too. And people connect with story. They don't
yeah.
want to hear if you think of used car salesmen trying to like trick them into something, that's not what we want to do here, right,
Right,
Becky? We
right.
just want to like share our experiences.
Yes, and it's not a hard sell. It's not even about selling something. Ultimately,
Mhm.
that is the goal. You're sharing your story on social media so that you can grow an audience who is hearing about your products and services and interested in participating in whatever it is that you're sharing, whether it's a book or a product or a coaching service or whatever it might be. But it's not about selling it, it's about letting people know what you're passionate about. And the people with whom that's going to resonate will reach out. So, and it's
Mhm.
also not passive aggressive, it's genuine. It's about being the
Mm.
person that you are with your friends on social media, with potential customers on social media. There's
Mhm.
really very little difference. I try to show up so authentically on social media that my whether my friends are seeing it or a prospective customer is seeing it, it is the same message and it's the same Becky. And that's what we want to encourage people to do. Because ultimately, when they purchase from you, they're not purchasing a product specifically, they're purchasing from a seller. And that's something I want
Right.
people to understand. They want to resonate with you and who you are, whether you're selling a book or you're selling a product. They choose who they buy from. And so it's just about
Mhm.
building trust so that people know you're a real
Mhm.
person and your life has been changed. And if this resonates with them, their life can be changed or affected or impacted too. It's really that simple.
Yeah, and it really is that trust. I like that you use that word trust, because people trust you. They trust me because they see me with my grandma. They see me with my
Yeah.
kids. They see me sharing about how good I feel. They see me about sharing about my new book. It's sharing my life, and the people that
Mhm.
are gonna want something, a service or a novel to read, whatever it is,
Yeah.
they will dig deeper. But most people, I'm just sharing. And I've had lots of friends, those that are very healthy, saying, you're so encouraging, you're so inspiring. They don't need to lose a ton of weight. They might just need to have some little health problems,
Mhm.
little health things that they would like to work with and overcome. And I can help them too. So
Yeah.
it's not like the goal is the big sale. The goal is sharing our lives in a way that can help people, even if they don't buy something. But if they're
Mhm.
interested, we have great resources for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also want to point out, Tricia, this is also not about going viral, right? There's so much online about you've got to create this content that goes viral and grows this huge audience. There is a place for that, but when your objective is to build trust so that you can sell something, it's not about quantity. It's about the quality of the
Mhm.
relationships you're building, and you will get customers who believe in you and what you're doing when you're sharing authentically. It's not about following some sort of kitschy formula online so that
Mhm.
everybody is going to be sharing your reel. It's about speaking to the person who is across the screen from you effectively, right? It's one-to-one
Yeah.
conversation at a scaled level. It's not about going viral. It's about sharing something you know can bless people and finding that one-to-one relationship each time through a social media post where you can reach more people in less time.
Yeah, and that really is the heart behind this book, Tell Your Story, or this workbook, Tell Your
Yes.
Story. And I love how you said it's like a word lib, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And so we might say, my problem was, it'll have a blank, but I learned, have a blank, and now I blank. Like,
Yeah.
and so my problem was I didn't take time for myself and was gaining weight. I learned it's okay to care for myself and to connect with a community that focuses on health. And now I love helping others. I
Yeah.
mean, it's those types of fill in the blank things that when you have the workbook, and then you can see your progress as you're moving through it. And you can
Mhm.
see, like, okay, this worked. What if I twisted this, shared these words in a different way? Or
Mhm.
prompts maybe you never even thought about that we put in the
Yeah.
workbook that just has you sharing your story. And you mentioned before that we tried this out. So we tried this with Optavia coaches. And they were so excited about the conversations that they were starting with people that they've known for a while, or maybe even new friends that were reaching out, that were connecting with them. And that's really the connection is the important thing, that they were starting conversations and connecting. It's not about we're going to make $1 million next month selling whatever product, because that is unrealistic, but it's building those connections with real people because we're a real person.
Right. Exactly. The authenticity of it. That's what I love about the workbook that we put together. It's what I love about your heart too, is that that is your heart for people. And I don't know if it's okay for me to move into this story here, Tricia, but I
Yes,
am one of
yes.
those people who heard the story from you and said, "Oh, I want that." Right? I mean, on our mastermind calls, you would be talking
Hmm.
about how you were losing weight. And I thought, oh, we're similar age range. It's, hitting the perimenopause thing. It's harder, gaining more weight, harder to lose it. And I gotten frustrated. And for me, I had 10 pounds to lose. I'm going for 20 now, Trisha. I'm going for 20. But
Yeah,
it was I had heard you talk about it and you felt so good and you were talking about how easy it was and it was simply you sharing, not even trying to sell anything. You were in
no.
our meetings just talking about what a great experience you'd had and I out of the blue I think reached out to you and said, "Okay, tell me more." Because
Mhm.
I need something, I need a solution. I think this could be it. And so to make a very long story short, it was that simple and I'm 17 pounds down now. And yes,
17!
I haven't told you that. I'm 17 pounds down.
No, I have not. Okay, how much does that little dog on your lap
Oh
weigh?
my goodness.
Uh,
Okay, this little dude is 12 pounds. So he jumped up on my lap. I can't get rid of him. I have
he's
lost
so cute.
more than this little dog is what I've lost from my body.
Yeah. That little dog and a
And 5
5-pound
more
bag of
pounds.
potatoes.
Yes, yes. It's unreal if you think about it. But we were talking before we started recording about how as authors, especially, I sit at this desk all day pretty much. Right? I'm not one of the
Mhm,
cool cats who has a walking desk yet. I don't have a treadmill behind me, and it just starts to catch up. And I realize
mhm.
now I've hit the 50 mark, and so I need to be taking better care of myself. And essentially, the program that you shared with me taught me to eat better, and I am just eating better. I feel amazing,
Mhm.
amazing, and it all happened because you told me your story, and you weren't
Yeah.
even trying to sell me anything.
No. I was just like,
That's
I
what
think
happens.
someone said, like, "Oh, you're looking great." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I mean,
Yeah.
it's just starting conversations
It's
and
starting
carrying on
conversations.
conversations, and I love,
Yeah.
okay, so, can you share just a little bit more? Because I know you've lost weight, but also you had
Mm.
some other, like, tummy issues that had been
Ah,
really bothering you, and
I did. And I do not use the word miracle lightly. I am a Jesus girl and I believe that miracles are true. And I have to tell you, I had so many GI issues really since childhood. And I had
Mm,
reached a point, I tried all sorts of things. I had reached a point where I just thought there is no solution for me. That I am a head of medical science. Nobody can give me any explanation for why I feel this way, why I have these symptoms of the just this swelling of my stomach and these intense pains every night.
mm,
And I changed the way I ate through Optavia simply for me. And this is not necessarily the answer for everyone. Everybody's body responds differently,
yep,
but for me, I realized when I cut out sugar and most carbs, right? I'll eventually get some
mhm,
back, but it's mostly related to the sugar. My GI symptoms went away. And I go to bed now without a stomach ache. And I did not think that was possible. It's
yeah,
because I learned how to eat better. So I
mm,
used a superficial desire, which was, I want to drop some weight. And what it did was it healed the underlying issues.
mhm,
And I still can't believe it. I'm still in a state of shock because I only started this journey at the end of September.
mhm,
And so it's been 3 months and not just 17 pounds down, I'm fitting into jeans that I haven't worn in a long time, which is all great, but I can't
yeah,
believe how good I feel. and the energy that I have because I'm not doubled over with pains at the end of every day. Just the fact
Mm.
that I can go on a date with my husband and wear my skinny jeans,
Yeah.
right? Where I couldn't before. I had to wear something that was covering up the stomach swell. And it's just, and that's I think a lot of women have experiences like that and maybe feel uncomfortable talking about them. So I'm just here to talk about them and tell you, I think you'll be surprised how not alone you are. And I
Mhm.
was the one who didn't want to give it up. I didn't want to give up the sugar. I wanted to go on my Starbucks runs with my daughters. I wanted to have ice cream. And I had no idea it was actually causing this greater pain in my life. So yeah, is it a bummer, right? Because I would still love to get that matcha latte, at Starbucks, that matcha frappuccino. But then I look at it and I think of the sugar content and the stomach ache I'm going to have. And I think,
You just
not
think of
worth
the
it.
stomach. Yeah. Yeah.
Not worth it. And you taught me I can still have a sugar-free almond milk latte. And
That's
so I can
right.
still go on my Starbies runs with
I
my
just
girls.
had one
Yeah.
today. We went through drive-through.
Yes. So
Got my
it's just been
sugar-free
amazing.
latte.
It's been
Yeah.
amazing. And so
And it
I'm
was within days. It was within
yes,
days your stomach started feeling better.
it was. It started feeling better. I would say within 3 to 5 days, it was 80% better. And now I have very few symptoms like I used to. And that alone is motivating for me just to stick with it. So
Mhm.
okay, I have 3 more pounds I want to lose, right? But if I never do, I could be back at the weight I was at before without the GI issues and feel so much happier.
Yeah, but you don't have
Yeah.
that weight, so
I
you're
don't.
good.
And here I was thinking, okay, I'm hitting the menopause age. I guess there's nothing I can do about this. This is just what life has to be now. And I'm amazed that it doesn't. And it's
Yeah,
all because you happen to casually talk about Optavia on a mastermind call.
yeah, and sharing the story.
Yep, sharing your
And
story.
we're so excited that we can do this through the workbook,
Yeah.
but we're also gonna have a little group where we're gonna
Yeah.
gather some people together and it's called StorySell. So if you're like, okay, yes, I will get that workbook, but knowing me, it'll sit on my desk because I need some accountability. Well,
Yeah.
that's what Becky and I are here for. So if you're listening to this at the beginning of 2025, we'll be starting a group February 1st. If you aren't listening to 2025, we're probably still doing a group sometime. We're
Yes.
probably going to keep doing this, Becky. So we're gonna put the link in the show notes that you'll
Yes.
be able to get the material for this,
Yeah.
because I know accountability and having someone that is going to say, okay, this is what we're doing today. That's all I
Yeah.
like. That's what I need. If I'm part of a group and everyone's checking in and like, I did this, I did it. Oh my goodness, I get so much more done
Yes, me too.
than I bought workbooks that are kind of sitting on the shelf too. Um, but also the friendships and the community. I mean, just doing stuff together. I think as women and as moms and as creatives and as people that want to reach and help other people
Yeah.
with our message and with our products, we can all support each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. You and I have found this creative connection. And when I see your stuff, I'll share it. I'll post, I'll comment. I tell people about you because I know you now and I know the connection with you. And I think that's really what a community does. Yes, we have Tell Your Story workbook. Yes, we're going to have the Story Sell workshop. But my guess is the connection with the community is going to be like even
Mhm.
better than all
Yes.
those things. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and find other content creators, other authors, other product sellers, other people who are trying to just share authentically what they do to find more people who can
Mhm.
benefit from it on social media, to find your people who are doing what
Yeah.
you're doing. Because quite honestly, I think you and I both know this. It's hard in our space to find in real life friends who do what we do. And that's why I love
Hmm.
groups like this, because then we can gather together across the miles, find people who understand what we do, what we're aiming to do, and just support one another through it with no spirit of competition, just a spirit of camaraderie and support.
Yeah, so good. Okay, so we're going to be starting that group soon. Again, we're going to have the links in the show notes, and we're going to have the links for StorySell, which is the group. We're going to have the links for the workbook, Tell Your Story, which is also available on Kindle. So it's workbook and paperback, and it's also in Kindle.
Mhm.
And just we have information for you to connect with Becky because she's amazing. Which I want you to share a little bit more, Becky, about your message and how you want to inspire people, because I know as a mom, you're talking about your kids are getting older, you're working on sharing your messages. Just what is your vision for who do you want to help in the days and months and years that are coming up? Because I know you just like, you love helping people. You have such a giving heart. You have such infectious, bubbly, happy attitude. I mean, I'm always inspired when I'm connecting with you.
Oh, that
Which,
encourages
so
me.
people, you need to go follow. You also make adorable reels, which are like, they crack me up and I love them.
Oh my
So
goodness,
you
you're
have to
funny.
go follow Becky for sure. We'll put the links to her social media because she's one of those bright spots
I appreciate that so
on
much.
social media, yeah.
Well,
But
and I'll tell you,
who do you wanna reach? Yeah, who are you?
I
This is like your passion.
my passion is really, Christian content creators, but also especially women, Christian women who are trying to dip their toes in entrepreneurship, whether it is entrepreneurship as an author, as a speaker, as a product seller, as a business owner, a freelancer, women who have a desire to use their God-given gifts to create a ministry based business that is designed to support their families and to give. I mean, the dream is to give more than you earn, right? And so, what I
Mhm.
like to say is, imagine if more Christians had more money, how different the world might be. And so, I really speak into that space of, as a Christian, especially a Christian woman, it is not only okay to earn money from the work that you do, but it is good stewardship. So I like to work with women to help them overcome any misunderstandings they might have about what scripture actually says about engaging in business, why it's actually a God honoring thing. And then also, I like to provide digital marketing advice and training to help you take your message to more people, to help you earn money
Mhm.
from your message. And I'm super passionate about helping women everywhere from younger moms all the way up to those grandmas who suddenly have more time on their hands and aren't really sure what to do with it and think I've sacrificed so much of my time for my kids and now I have more space and what do I do with it? And I think God is still calling me. I'm not done yet. I want to help guide you to use the gifts that you've been given to spread the word to more people, whatever the messages God has given you, whatever the, through a product, through a service, through a book. Let's share it with the world. And then I want to help you earn an honest income from it so that you can keep doing it. It's all about sustainability. As authors
Mhm.
and speakers, it's way too easy to get bogged down by the expense of maintaining a ministry. And as soon as we cannot afford our ministry, we can't keep running our ministry. And then
Mhm.
we have to stop running the ministry. And then we lose our voice. We lose our voice is no longer in the world. And what we really lose then is the people whose lives could have been impacted by the message we had to share. And that's a tragedy to me. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
so passionate about helping women in particular with the message that God wants them to share, with the product He wants them to sell. Anytime we're selling anything, there's a message behind it and there's a purpose behind it. So I'm super passionate about helping women do that. And I want to share one caveat. You're so sweet to say that my Instagram is fun to follow because this is kind of what's ironic about the two of us working together on StorySell. I used to grow my business not on social media because I knew a lot of
Mm.
women who were not interested in it. So I have a lot of expertise. I can guide you in how to grow a business not on social media. But as an author, I've recognized the need for social media presence in order to, in the business of publishing, get more
Mhm.
publishing contracts. So I
Yeah.
have done so much educating of myself in that space to figure out how do I grow in a way that is authentic, that tells my story, that is not necessarily about going viral, but about truly serving people. So I am doing what we are coaching people to do on social media. I'm doing it myself. So
Yeah.
I, and you know, and it's not again about having that huge following. It's about how are you speaking to the following that you do have, and naturally the growth will come. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm super passionate about. And so you asked me the question, and clearly I can just talk forever about
I love it. No, that's exactly what I want you to do because I asked the question. And I will say, when you connect and you think like it's so overwhelming, I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's like day 1, you get to do this. Day 2, you get to do this.
Yes.
So we've tried to make it as easy as possible. But I also love that on your social media, you are bringing good content that's encouraging, that's helping people, that's just brightening people's day, but also like, oh, I could try that. Like, it's not overwhelming because you're just doing a little bit here
Yep.
and a little bit there. And those are the type of people that we want to follow instead of following people like, oh, everything they're doing is like so high end, and I never like they had to hire a cinematographer. What are those people? A
Cinematographer.
cinem yeah, that
That
thing. I
word,
can't even
that thing?
say it or spell it.
Yeah, we
But
don't even
yeah, I
wanna say
mean,
that word.
yeah, it just is fun and simple, which is also what you're teaching people to do,
Yeah,
to share their message. And as you were talking, I had to think about this because I love writing, I love sharing books, but also I'm a real person with kids and family and
yep,
grandma, and I did not realize that as I'm like thinking, oh, I should post more about books. Uh, Me just posting about my life and what I'm doing and sharing my message has brought in readers for my
yes.
books. Like
Yes.
it's not about like 27 ways to talk about your book or your health coaching or your product. It
Yep,
is sharing your life and being real and telling your story, and people relate to you and connect with you, and then you grow and have more influence. And so
yeah,
it's amazing as I am able to travel and I meet people. Some of the things they'll say is, "Oh, that little blog that you wrote about that Christmas story time, that's our favorite Christmas tradition now." It's like
yeah,
it doesn't always have to be the big thing. It could be those little things that people connect with and that you're able to have influence for. So I'm doing
mhm,
that a lot with books and blogs and stuff. But as you're talking about, what would you do with more money? I was thinking about that because I have a full time assistant.
yeah.
I have my daughter in law who works from home. She also worked for me. My son in law who works from home in the Czech Republic. I'm also helping so he can stay home, like because he does stuff for me. I have someone who I met at a big Christian ministry. She's a stay-at-home mom now, and I always said, "Hey, you are so amazing. If you ever want to like do stuff from home, let me know."
Mhm,
She's doing stuff. She's able to stay home with her kids.
yep.
So I am like I'm able to take my kids on trips. Like it's not like I am rolling in the dough, right? I'm
You don't
not
have to
like,
be,
"Hey,
right?
I need that Gucci bag."
Yeah, right? I don't have a
But
yacht. I don't want a yacht.
yeah, but I'm sharing my message, and
Yes,
then I'm also having people that are able to work at home and be with their
yes,
kids. I'm able to go and do stuff with my kids. This is what it's about. It's not just about selling for the sake of selling or whatever. It's we are able to share our voices. We're able to inspire, encourage, help other people with wherever they're at. And then also with the extra money, I've been able to bless other people and get more help, but bless
yes,
other people so they can stay home
yes.
and they can do things from home too. So,
They can work in
all
their
that to
giftings, they
say,
can earn
they
money, they
can
can have
work
the
in their
freedom that you
giftings.
have. Yes, that's huge to me. That's one of my greatest motivating factors too, is the ability to earn more money so that I can hire other people who want to be able to work from home and make their family a priority and use their gifts. And it's a true pay it forward scenario.
Yeah, I love it. And so really, and I've always felt this like when God calls us to do something, it's not just for us. Like the books are not just for my name to be on the title of a book so I can feel important or whatever. It's for people who want that message,
Yeah.
but also behind the scenes, it's for those people who want to be home with their kids and
Yeah.
they need a little bit more income. And
Mhm.
he blesses me that I could bless them, that I could bless readers. It's like he has a kingdom plan in mind. And so that's what my
Yes.
heart is. I know, Becky, that's what your heart
It
is.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Trisha, because it's so true. And it is about kingdom work. And it
Hmm.
doesn't always feel like it. It doesn't feel like it's grand, but it's not supposed to be.
Hmm.
It's sharing small stories, small pieces of who you are in a way that serves other people. And then when you do that in a way that generates income as a result, we can continue to, like I said, pay that forward and allow other people to do the same. And I really believe if more Christians were entrepreneurs, that this
Hmm.
world would be different.
Yeah. And when I'm like watching my kids who are watching like YouTube videos and watching someone unwrap toys and thinking, that person is probably making a lot of money from
Yeah.
these YouTube videos unwrapping toys. like people like people are knowing how to do this, right?
Yeah.
But if we could be doing this for the kingdom work,
Yes.
not just for this little short entertaining whatever clip,
Yeah.
to help people, to serve people,
Mhm.
to bless others, to bless our families, then that really is a bonus all the way around.
Yeah.
Because it's happening out there.
Yeah.
So why not happen with us, with the people we want to reach,
Yeah.
with our family that we can bless too?
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that thought. This has been fun.
This has been fun. Okay, so The book is Tell Your Story. And we're going to have that's available on Amazon, both in paperback and Kindle. StorySell, we're going to have links in the show notes. But Becky, tell where else people can connect with you and all the ways they can benefit from all the inspiration and the blessings that you give out.
Oh, thank you, Tricia. So you can find me at theinspiredbusiness.co, which is my coaching business website. I also have an author website, beckykopitzke.com, but very shortly, those two websites are going to be the same thing because I'm always
Ooh.
growing and changing. And so I am merging my two websites as what I am looking to write in the next book and the business that I'm doing, coaching other people, are merging. I'm merging my two websites. So right now, theinspiredbusiness.co is my coaching business. And I have online courses. I have a coaching group called the Funnel Club where you can come in and learn the basics of digital marketing and creating digital products from your content, and lots of other offers there. And I have a podcast. You can find my podcast from my website called the Inspired Business Podcast. I would love it if anybody listening wants to join me on my Instagram journey. I am making a concerted effort right now to grow my Instagram so that I can show publishers that I have an audience, even though I know I have an audience.
Yeah.
But, it's the publishing industry. And so we work within it. And I'm having fun creating what I hope is
Mhm.
valuable content on social media. But if anybody wants to follow me there, I will follow you back because it's about, just making community connections. And so
Yeah.
that's primarily where you can find out more about what I do and how I serve people. And I just love to make new friends online. So reach out to
Yeah.
me in a DM, shoot me an email. Let's get to know each other.
I love it. Well, Becky, thank you so much for being here. And we'll have links to all those things in the show notes.